Yep, back in Aloha. There's Teleferico. I used to live right at the top of that neighborhood underneath it. Now I'm here on the other side, looking east, which I like the view much better, actually. So here in Parque Central in Aloha, beautiful day, really beautiful day. Nice temperature, just kind of out in shirt sleeves, as is usual in the afternoon pretty much. It's rarely cold enough to need much more than that. Sometimes in the homes it's a little chilly because there's no heat, but got warm stuff to wear inside and cooler stuff to wear outside, which is one of the reasons, you know, again, moving from the coast back up to the mountains was the temperature, you know, thing. I mean, hot's one thing, but hot and sweaty and no air conditioning is quite another. Especially when you add mosquitoes, massive mosquitoes to me. So I was so covered in bites when I got here, you just cannot believe it. Obviously, if you're living in Salinas or Manta and you're one of those high-rise condos, you're not gonna, you know, be as affected by those things, but I can't afford that, so I'm very much affected by those things, and I didn't like it much. So that was one of the reasons for leaving. Another is the air quality. I mean, it was terrible there for me. Again, maybe it's different in other parts, but you know, there's always wind at the coast, and it just stirs up so much particulate matter. And I have allergies. I have a little bit of asthma, and I'm particularly sensitive to mold. And there, because of moisture and the heat down there, there's a lot of mold. It's in the air, it's in the buildings. Again, lower, you know, to the higher levels of those condos, I'm sure that's not an issue. But where I was at, it was a massive issue. Had 2 massive cases of bronchitis. The last one, like right before I moved, that required an inhaler for some time. And I was very, very sick with it. And that's when I knew. I was thinking about going to Salinas, thinking, oh, it was drier there, it'd be different. But then I saw the video on Living, Loving Abroad about flooding there, people walking around in hip deep water, and I thought, nope, 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 time to go. So anyway, back to the mountains where the air is just so clean. Even here in the middle of downtown with the traffic and everything, it's just, I'm breathing way better even with the altitude here than I was at the coast, because again, just all of the particulate matter there and the mold stuff. I don't think I ever breathed well the entire time I was down there. So that was another reason for leaving and coming back. Another reason is just the scenery. I mean, I love the ocean, don't get me wrong. I was just happy it was fabulous, but I mean, that's kind of it. Here it's just, you know, the mountains, the scenery is just so exquisite, and the energy of the mountains just feels mystical and just amazing to me. Everything just feels really clean. Oh, and clean. There's another reason, you know, again, not applicable to everywhere, but the coast was just, there was just a lot of garbage everywhere. And I don't know, that's just something I just, you know, whatever people do what they're going to do and live how they want to live, but that's just something, I don't know, I just don't get it. But up here it's very clean and lovely to walk around. Lots of interesting places to walk, both in nature and in town. That's another reason. Again, in a small town, there are a lot of street dogs, and they were not friendly. And, you know, you saw in the one video where I was attacked by dogs, and, you know, everywhere you walk in the neighborhoods, I mean, they're very aggressive. I got to the point where I couldn't walk anywhere except right in the central part of town. Again, maybe different in the city of Salinas and Manta. I don't know. I wasn't there. But, yeah, I mean, I'm a walker, so the fact that I couldn't walk anywhere and being safe, and I'm alone, so maybe it's different when you're in a couple or a group of people, but, you know, as a person walking alone, it was definitely not safe because of the dogs. That's not cool for me. And up here, I mean, I just walk everywhere, and there are some street, you know, dogs wandering around, but not very many, and they're so used to cars and people that they don't bother you. So much safer to walk, many more places to walk for me, and yeah, so now I got to get across the street and go pay my my Claddle bill for the month. So I'll come back with some more reasons on another location perhaps. Ciao. So there is about 2 long blocks of walking, pedestrian, like outdoor mall, every kind of business you could want. And it comes from Parque Central through here to Mercado Central, which I'm going to now. Here's another reason I love the mountains. There's just tons and tons of fresh flowers that are grown in the mountains and are readily available at a pretty cheap cost. This little bouquet was $3.50 at the Mercado, so yeah, I can afford to have fresh flowers. There weren't any flowers, I don't think, for sale that I ever saw in Puerto Lopez, but here, yeah, they're everywhere. Obviously, everybody's going to have different preferences for lifestyle. And I think a lot of, where you're going to feel most comfortable, well, it depends sometimes on your health, but a lot of it depends on your budget. As I said, I can't, I couldn't afford to, live in those high rises in either Manta or Salinas. I'm on a very frugal budget. But I think anybody that's coming in under the new visa laws would be able to afford to do so. I came in under the old laws and I'm on a more frugal budget than that. So those rental options are not really available for me. So, your budget's going to make a huge difference as to, what you can afford in terms of rent and, those kind of things. And, if you've got a bunch of medical expenses, even though it's vastly cheaper here, it still costs money. And so, many, if not most things depend on your budget. So, and your personal preferences. I'm also not really a high-rise condo kind of person. So, yeah, whatever works for you, I think is, explore different places in the country. I'm really glad I went to live on the coast. But I'm really, really glad to be back up in Loja. I love the size of the city. Cuenca's a little too high in altitude for me and quite large. But Loja is just right. So, and while it will take me some time to get used to the altitude, yeah, I feel already better with my breath and walking here than I did in the air quality at the coast where I was living. So, yeah, check all the different places out and you'll figure out what's right for you. It's all good. Ciao.